All right, guys, back here doing another live stream, another video. Let's talk about Man City and Spurs. Big game in the top four race tomorrow. It'll be 2:30 Eastern for me, so I don't know what that is, like 7:30 for you guys over in the UK. But I will be not doing a watch along, unfortunately. I'll be at work, but I will still, of course, follow along and watch the game. Just can't do the live stream for the midweek games. Makes it kind of hard with work schedule and everything. But again, no big deal. I'll do one this weekend for the FA Cup, of course. Now, getting into the game. Coconuts, what's up, man? How are we doing? How are we doing? You are here nice and early and fast. Much appreciated. Anyway, like I'm saying, much appreciated support over the last, I don't know, couple week or so. We have pushed past our goal of 50 subs. We've hit 65, something like that. So awesome. Views are up on the shorts. Appreciate Coconuts with the shout out for that recommendation there. But again, any likes and subs are appreciated. Anything like that, always welcome. And thank you for all the new people coming around. Anyway, let's look at the game here. Spurs. Pull up my preview here. We've got Spurs, our bogey team. We all know it. We have trouble against them every year. It's away. We have only got one positive result in this stadium in our history. It's a new stadium-ish, but last year was the first time we got a result there. First time we scored a goal, I believe, with the big win we had there to actually kind of seal the title, if you guys remember. That's the game where Ortega has to come in, make the save on Son in the 82nd minute or so, and then we put the game away 2-0, Holland with a penalty, which set it up on the final day for us to win the title. I'm sure you guys remember that, but we've not had a whole lot of success playing Spurs. Earlier this year, I'm sure you guys remember, 4-0 at home. Brutal loss. One of our worst performances of the season. It's one of the moments we remember Kyle Walker just getting burned for pace, you know. Timo Werner, of all people, just kind of blew past him. So, is what it is, but it was a really poor result, and hopefully we can pick up some momentum, I guess. You know, there's not been a whole lot of momentum. Shibby says, we need to beat Spurs just to get us out of this negative mindset. I do agree with that. You agree with that, bro? We've had some shaky form. I know, you guys know how it is, but back-to-back losses hurts pretty bad. Real Madrid, horrible performance. 2-0 Liverpool wasn't as bad as that game. I don't think it was as bad as 2-0 suggests. We just didn't create anything. So, is what it is. But this Newcastle game being sandwiched in here, it's weird, you know. We dominate Newcastle. We have this great performance. It's probably the best performance of the season, and you follow it up with back-to-back losses. It's kind of weird how that makes you feel, you know. For me personally, whenever my team wins, it feels like we're going to just keep winning. And when we lose, it's like, how can we ever get out of this slump? How can we ever fix this? And I think that's kind of the mood and negative mindset Shibby's talking about. There's just, 5-1 on aggregate basically over the last two games. It feels like we're just on this massive downward trend. And I think part of it is that City have been so high over the last decade that this is our worst season we've had since Pep's been here, and we're only in fourth, guys. Fourth place in the grand scheme of things. We're better than 16 other teams. It's just comparing us to the old City. We're not that, so people think the standards have dropped and whatnot. And I understand that. It's just we got to kind of accept this is a poor season, and we're fighting for Champions League. So, getting into looking at Spurs game here. Shibby, thank you for the sub. I appreciate that, my guy. I appreciate that. Let's go here. I'm going to look and see what they have for the Spurs predicted lineup. You've got Vicario in goal, Pedro Porro, former City boy, right back, Jed Spence left back. I know they've had some major problems defensively, Spurs. You've got Danso at center back and Davies at center back, which, I've heard good things about Danso. Donso, however you say that name. But again, not a back line that is overly concerning for us. Betancourt in the midfield with Sarr. It's a pretty good midfield. Depending on who we go with, that might actually be better than us in midfield, especially with Kulusevski. What a player Kulusevski is, man. Someone who, I know dealing with Spurs and Daniel Levy is like basically impossible, but if for some reason Kulusevski were to be made available at some point in the summer window, I'd be all about that personally. They have Mateus Tell up front, the loanee from Bayern, Son on the left, and Brendan Johnson on the right. So, if that's the lineup they go with, it's not overly scary. Spurs have been pretty poor this season, a lot of injuries as well, so it's kind of hard to blame them. But I think that the one main factor here is Haaland playing or not. Shibby says, same players that done all this magic, just a terrible season. Next season will be better. Get rid of Grealish. I do agree. Next season will definitely be better. Grealish seeming's likely to go. As sad as that is for me, as a big kind of I don't want to say a Grealish fanboy, but I like Grealish. I liked them when we purchased him, and I definitely had higher hopes. Seems like he's out of favor, and it's just not going to work out going further. Yeah, Spurs is going to be tough for me. Yeah, I agree. Spurs is always a tough game for us. Now, as far as injuries, we have Timo Werner doubtful. Not a very good player, really, in all honesty, so it wouldn't make much of a difference. Romero being out, pretty big. He's a very good player, very good center back. Van de Ven, and again, great center back for them. That's their best pairing, so pretty big that neither of them are playing. And then Dragusin, again, another decent center back, not going to be playing. Solanke and Richarlison also out, which limits their options up front. For us, the injuries are, according to this, it has Haaland as doubtful. I'm going to assume he plays. Now, I assumed he was going to be playing on the weekend against Liverpool. I was wrong. But he did train, apparently, according to all reports, today. So I'm hoping that he's all right and is ready to go, and there's no problems there with the knee. Stones, of course, is out. We did hear today Stones is not going to have surgery, which is nice, but he's probably out for 2 months. It's possible that he's played his last game in a City shirt. Recently, I did the keep or sell video, and Stones was one of the guys I actually want to build around and have him in the squad for a long time. But unfortunately, injuries kind of derail that, and I don't know. This latest injury is just another 2-3 monther. It's how much can you deal with a player? So might be seeing an exit earlier than I had hoped. Akanji also out possibly for the rest of the season. Another muscle injury. Muscle injuries are just the killers this year. Not a big enough squad. Too many games. Not enough rotation available. That's just how it goes. A lot of muscle injuries. Spurs are hit and miss as well. This will be a 50-50 game for you. I definitely could see 50-50. We could win, lose, give it a draw even, of course. Rodri, out for the season. We all know that, ACL. Hopefully he'll be back in time for the start of next Premier League. I do not want to see him playing in any of the Club World Cup. None of that. Oscar Bob, doubtful, but positive news finally on the Oscar Bob front. He has returned to training following his ankle setback situation that he had. Oscar Bob's an interesting one. I see a whole lot of discussion online about would he have made a difference this season had he not broken his leg, and how many more points would we have. I see some people going kind of crazy saying we'd have 10 more points if we had Oscar Bob this season. But I don't know if it's that heavy. I do think we maybe would have 3 more points, something like that. I do think he would have been our starting right winger, to be honest, at the start of the season, based on his preseason performance. And people always say to me, preseason means nothing, but he was very good preseason. Twin Coconuts is an OG of the channel. He's a rival fan, but he's a supporter of the channel. So we allow it. Should be no problems. Anyway, that's pretty much most of the injury news. It's an interesting team we see here predicted: Kusanov, Diaz, Ake, Vardiel, Ederson. But I will go here to the lineup builder, of course, and take a look to see what I think. What's going to happen? And we'll start quickly in goal. Of course, Ederson, another one linked with an exit today. Strong links to Diogo Costa from Sporting. Or Porto. I think he's at Porto. That makes sense. Another Portuguese league link with Hugo Viana coming in. And it seems just like Ederson's going to be out the door. We got my dog making a ruckus over here on the left. Hey, chill, bro. Chill. I'm chilling at my house by myself, but I got to watch the dog. So as long as she's good, we're good to go. Anyway, score predictions from Twin. 2-2 or 2-1 Spurs. Kind of brutal. I would much rather have it 2-1 City, of course, but I could see a draw. Spurs are in better form than they have been, even though they've been pretty crap this season. The back line is interesting, as always, to predict here. The one guy that I really hope plays is Abdulkadir Husinov. While no one has been, great this season, really, since the Chelsea game, Kusanov has been pretty mega for us, to be honest, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing, and I'm hoping he plays, and we can roll with it for a while and see how it goes. Ruben Dias did not play against Liverpool. I'm assuming that was a fitness type thing, and Ake, Jimmy Neutron, hey, how's it going, bro? Welcome to the stream. I'm assuming Ake is sort of in the same situation as Diaz, where they're on maybe minutes restrictions. They can't play back-to-back games, possibly. So for me, I'm going to go with Diaz and Kusanov as our center back pairing. I don't really see any other options other than Ake. Most of our guys are all injured, you know how it is. On the left, I'm going to go with Vardiol, of course, because he just basically plays every single game all the time, no matter what, for us. The guy never gets a break, unfortunately, for him, but that's just how it is, He is a wildly, even underrated left back to me. I think he might be the best left back in the world. And even in a season that's been most of our guys have been poor and down seasons, he's been good. Basically all the time. So Vardiol left back. Right back is interesting, and I might take what the chat has to say as some evidence of what we should do. There's only a couple of options, unfortunately. There's Rico Lewis. There is Mateus Nunes. You could also put Kusanov right back and start Ake as the other center back. But I'm not sure. I don't love Kusanov at right back, even though he did a pretty good job against Madrid in that game against Vinny. He's got the pace. I just don't know if he personally has the agility, I guess, is how I would say it. I don't know, and he's definitely not a threat going forward. I think he's better in a center back role for me. I can't remember the last time we played Mateus Nunes, to be honest with you. It's been quite a while. So in my head, it makes sense that Rico is probably the right back for this game. If anyone disagrees in the chat, they can put their comment in there, and I will take it into consideration, of course. But mentally, I'd be preparing for Rico Lewis right back, and I know there's a whole lot of discussion online about, is Rico a right back? Is he good enough for City? And all of that. But for me, I'm gonna assume for now he's the right back, and you probably get the 2-3 buildup that we've done a lot, where these two center backs are here, and then you have Vardiol and Rico come in, and then this is probably going to be Nico Gonzalez. He's been very good so far, I would say. Where is he? Nico G. There he is. They got to update this. They don't even have the City logo on there yet. But it'll be something like this, I think. At least that's what we've been doing recently. Maybe Pep changes it up, does a madness, and creates a whole new tactic. You never know, of course. But that's what I'm anticipating, I believe. Shibby says Nunes right back. I don't know. When's the last time Nunes has played for us? I feel like we haven't seen him in quite a while. We could do that. We could do Nunes right back. We could also do Nunes in midfield, which, we bought him to be a midfielder, right? He can't be worse than then I hate to say Gundogan because he's been actually all right the last couple games he's played, but Nunez just doesn't have the control in midfield that Pep wants and basically demands, seemingly. So I'm going to go with probably not in midfield. But I mean, I could switch him out, man. Let's see what we do here. Let's roll with Nunez and see how that looks. Nunez is only 26. I think he's better than people make out. Yeah, but the only thing I think about is Nunez is a center midfielder. He's a midfielder, and he's an athletic midfielder. And seemingly, that is what we've been missing, some athleticism in the midfield. So, I don't know. He must be really poor in training with the guys, where Pep is just like, absolutely not. I'm going to throw 34-year-old Gundogan, 30-year-old Bernardo with no legs in there instead of you. Like, you get no minutes whatsoever in midfield. I also like the idea of Grealish in midfield, personally. I thought that was one of his better performances this season, and I think it was Forest. He played in the midfield, and then we had the Juventus game where he wasn't as good. But I know Grealish is probably out in the summer, so that's not really a long-term fix anyway. But I don't know. Remains to be seen. The other midfield spots are a little more interesting. In my head, I'm going to go with Kovacic as one of the midfielders here, especially if Nunez is here, because I don't think Nunez is going to come into this midfield build-up that we do, and Kovacic would do that, and it would be more like maybe like this. And then Nunez is like bombing up and down the sides here. That's what we could see. In front of them, you've got Kev, you've got Foden as the attacking options. Echeverri is in Manchester but has not started training yet. So, not up for selection, as unfortunate as that is. Probably wouldn't start him in this game anyway. I know people love Echeverri online, and people are saying he is Echemessi and he's going to be great, but remains to be seen, of course. Let me think here. Are we going to go Foden or Kev? Kev did start against Liverpool. So I guess you could also go Marmoush here. There's a lot of options for this attacking midfielder spot. Shibby says need the athletic build against Son. That's a good point. Nunez is probably a better big-bodied athletic defender than Rico is. Rico's just better in like the small spaces. So determines, whatever Pep values, I guess, the most is probably who starts in that position. I think for me, I'm going to go Foden in the midfield here. Let's see what you guys think. Maybe you guys can change my mind and it'll be different than what you guys are thinking. But I don't know. I think Foden probably starts there. I'm a new subscriber. I saw your shorts. Jimmy Neutron. Thanks, bro. I'm going to put more shorts out. I'm about to actually make a separate short tonight. It's going to be about the biggest overreactions from City fans. Are they overreactions or are they fair reactions? So if you guys have any ideas for the biggest overreactions in the fan base right now, let me know and I'll include it in my next short. At striker, I'm going to go with Haaland, of course. I am just hopeful that he is fit and able to play and is somebody that is not going to get hurt for the rest of the year, and we can just secure top 4 because of the presence he provides. Doku was cutting inside and cooking Trent on the wing, and there's just no one in the box, So I think Haaland's presence against the really poor center backs for Spurs will be helpful. Son has some power. He's bigger than he looks and has some power in them legs. Son is an interesting one. I feel like he's kind of had a slow decline over the last maybe, 18 months or so. I mean, he used to challenge for golden boots, if I remember right. Didn't he come level on golden boot and had no penalties or something at one point a couple of years ago? And now he's just Still good, of course, but I don't know, he should maybe drop just a bit in quality. The wingers are interesting. You have Doku, you have Marmouche, you have Savino, and I guess you could throw Foden out on the wing as well in this scenario. But I think it'd probably look like this somehow. And this would either be Marmouche or Savino. Quality player, but can't stand him. Yeah, Son has been a killer for City his whole career. I liked Doku's game against Liverpool, but again, this is a stat I always bring out. Jeremy Doku has been at Manchester City for 19 months now and has yet to play back-to-back full 90s in his entire 19 months. So he's injury-prone as it gets. People give John Stones stick for being injury-prone. Doku is the most injury-prone player we have on this team. So I'm not going to start him because of that fact. And I'm going to go with Marmouche and Savino, I think. Go like that. And then Savino here. Like this. And maybe he is on the left. He's been pretty good when he played on the left. Possibly. Foden has a 10 times better strike than him. 10 times is maybe a little crazy, Jimmy. I do think Foden has a belter of a left foot, but Son has got that finesse outside the box, curler shot. So I like pure power and strike, I'd go Foden, but Son's got a nasty finesse from outside the box, like you're playing FIFA, man. Anyway, I think this is roughly the lineup that we could go with. And then you have the issue is Haaland. And I don't know what you do. I guess you go Marmouche up top or Foden up top, and then you start Kev as well. But I think we can all kind of agree Kev probably isn't going to start back-to-back games anymore. Seems like the dude's just gassed. So this is my lineup that I'm going to go with in my head, and I think that you guys in the chat at least agree for now that this is a pretty good lineup. Maybe this is Rico Lewis. Maybe Doku gets a start. Maybe Grealish gets a start. You never know. I guess Grealish could start. It's just we haven't seen him since the Madrid game where he got injured, and who knows if he's back to fitness fully or not. I do believe he has been in training, though. I'm pretty sure he's been in training. Coconut says Foden got him on accuracy, but not power. See, I think I disagree. I think I go Foden for power over Son, personally. I never thought of Son as having a powerful foot. I don't know. Yeah, 10x is a little bit much, Jimmy. Maybe. I don't know. What do you guys think of this lineup? Is this is good enough lineup to get us 3 points without a doubt? It is away. It's going to be tough. I'd probably take a draw, to be honest. If you look at the table here, let me take a look at the table. Decent lineup. Yeah, we are sitting in 5th. We got a game in hand against Chelsea for now. Let me move this again. Whoa. Let me move this. There we go. We're sitting in 5th. Chelsea have got a game in hand on us, 2 points. Or we have a game in hand against... we played one less than Chelsea. A win would put us level with Forest. Depending on how they do, we would actually be above them on goal difference. So if they lose, we'd be up to 3rd, which would be great. Newcastle have equaled us on 44 points. Bournemouth lost today. Very big loss, actually, today. Puts Brighton at 8th. Fulham are right there. Man, it's kind of crazy, this top 4 race. You have Forest on 47 in 3rd. And you have Villa on 42 in 10th. That's insane. That's crazy. That's a full attacking formation there. Tough away day at Spurs. Risky. We got to be risky for the bisky sometimes, bro. Risky for the bisky. That's how we roll at City because we've been horrible defensively all year. Risky, it's only Spurs. Should be. They're our bogey team, bro. So even if it is only just Spurs, they are our bogey team for whatever, man. And that stadium is cursed, you know? Spurs are 13th. They are 13th, but they have won 3 in a row. So they're finding some form. They got 53 goals in the league, which is more than we have. You know, it's actually second most goals in the whole league, which is kind of crazy when you think about a team sitting in 13th. Never count Spurs out. Yeah, I agree. They're pretty good. Anyway, okay. That's the majority of my preview here. I'm hoping we get Haaland. I hope we get a hat trick and he can get back in the Golden Boot race. It's been kind of a little bit down for Haaland. I can't remember the last time he scored. It's been a while. I think it was the Madrid home game. Was the last time he scored. So could use a goal for sure. Get back up closer to Salah. I don't know. You never know what you get in the Prem. You know, it's anybody can beat anybody, to be honest, guys. Like, Southampton, as bad as they are, they could put in a performance against, like, Arsenal and beat them. But that's because Arsenal are crap. I think for my personal prediction, it's tough. But I think I'm going to go with a win. I'm going to go 2-1. 2-1 win. Maybe 2-0. 2-1. Depends on if we can create. If we can create, we should score goals and we should win. I think we'll be defensively sound against them. In my mind, it makes sense for me. But Ipswich could beat United. You never know. That's true, man. Ipswich could beat United. You never know. Anybody can beat anybody, especially when they got Liam Delap, former City Academy superstar, up front. Would be an interesting one to sign, actually. So, anyway, yeah, that's my preview. So I appreciate all the new people hanging out, new people coming in to chat, having a nice little discussion. Just coming up on 30 minutes or so. I'm going to go film some more shorts. Like I said, doing my biggest overreactions for the City fan base. Right now, my first overreaction is Pep has lost it and Pep needs to go. It's overreaction number 1. Overreaction number 2, Kev has lost it. Kev needs to go. He can't do it anymore. And third is I think I'm going to do something around Foden and saying how people are giving up on Foden too soon. Those are my 3 initial overreactions. If there's any more in the chat you guys have, I'll go with them. But those are the 3 I think I'm going to do a regular short where these are the current overreactions of the week or so from the City fan base on Twitter. And that's kind of what I see a lot of, is people saying Pep needs to get fired, Pep needs to be sacked, Kev is, whatever, doesn't have it anymore. Even if that's kind of true, I might kind of agree with that. And then Foden, for some reason, people want to sell Foden. I mean, the guy was player of the season last year. I don't understand the people that want to sell Foden, but that is apparently, there's a group of people out there that believe that. So, anyway, like I said, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Thank you for the new subs and whatnot. I'm going to keep putting out content as much as I can. City mean the world to me. They are my favorite thing in the world, Manchester City, and I live over here in America, and one day I'll get over there. So definitely. Pep's divorced. You think about Pep's divorce has you know what? I don't like to talk about the divorce personally because I don't know what's going on with him, but surely without a doubt that has affected him. I used to, I don't really get into my personal life a lot, but I used to coach college basketball, which I know sounds crazy weird, but that's what I used to do. And if I got a divorce in the middle of a season, bro, I would have been a shambles. There was no way I'd be good at my job where I was where I had to work every day. So I think definitely it's had an effect on him, and it's human nature. It has to. The guy's been with her for 30 years or something, and I've only been married almost 2 years now. But I would be a wreck if that happened. But anyway, it's not just the player; it's a mixture of everything. Great stream. Let's go City. Let's go City. Yes, big up, boys. Appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow, definitely. I'll do a reaction to the game, another live stream, of course, and I'm going to put a short out tonight as well. So be on the lookout for that. Appreciate it. Go City.